because a campaign has got a bigger picture, it means that you do not want it to be aborted, premature death, stillbirth, and the many other deaths that a campaign may run. It means that in times of adversity, opposition, and counter narratives, you have to fight back. So fighting back is one of the critical lessons and skills that any campaigner needs. So I would want to share experiences in terms of fighting back using the How Far campaign. And what I learned specifically was leadership in a crisis, because it creates, pressure points in terms of crisis when you're running an accountability campaign that is asking critical questions to a very strong and heavy-handed government. So there's a leadership crisis issues that you have to deal with. You're having counter narratives, you're having threats, you're having security issues, you are having, your questions being trivialized and being responded to in unsatisfactory kind of ways. So you need to be able to fight back. You also have a team that is scared for their lives, because, human rights defenders are under threat all the time, and especially around accountability issues, those that are asking around corruption issues, anti-corruption champions and human rights defenders. So you have to lead from the front. What I've learned is that if you're a campaigner and you're leading a team or you're leading a campaign, you have to lead from the front. I had, for example, to put myself as the face of the campaign and say, if you have any questions, I'm here. I'm not going to run away. I'm going to stand. I'm going to go back to my house. I never had a safe house or a place that I had to be put into or to be held into. I had to go back to my house and say, if the system needs to ask me questions, if they need to take me, they'll find me at my house. In my office. I had to go back to the office the following day. You don't have to endanger yourself, but you have to lead from the front. You have to show that you believe in the cause, you believe in what the campaign stands for. And what that does is that it builds trust. So the next lesson is that you have to build trust amongst your allies, amongst your team, and have those support pillars that will believe in you. If they see that you believe in the cause, you have put yourself in front of the battle, so they know that if you take the bullet, the next person is going to take the next bullet. The next person is going to take the next bullet. We have that kind of trusting teams that we have to build in dealing with crisis, I think, as leadership. So I think that was one of the big things that I learned. And there was, of course, the issue of brandalism that we also had to bring into the fray when it came to running our campaign.
Yeah, so the concept of brandalism for us was, can we do, the idea is the discourse is going to change here and there, sometimes deliberately so, sometimes maybe by the changing events of time, things change and maybe people are focused on another issue. So what we did is, can we do vandalism that's legal and still get the how far message and the how far question asked anyway, even if the discourse of the day changed? Two things happened. The first thing was, all of a sudden, the president announced the date for the by-elections that were long overdue, and it was time for by-elections, and obviously sentiment on social media changes, and we did not want the sentiment to change and go away from the How Far campaign, because we thought, even as people were going to vote for their councillors, for their members of parliament to represent them in the house, we still had questions that were relevant for local authorities to answer. So what we did is, what local authorities do in Zimbabwe during the election time is allow for participating candidates to put their posters on juror walls, so what we did is we created election size election posters, how far, and answer our questions, along with the posters that were saying, I am candidate A from this party, vote for me. I'm candidate B from this party, vote for me. Along with that is how far with water delivery, how far with sanitation, how far with these issues. We made sure that the how far issue was present even as the discourse was changing to by-elections. And we found another opportunity. And for us, the idea was to always find opportunity to place our content even in a non-binary situation where I remember in November, it was a time for the 16 days of activism against GBV, against gender-based violence. And we quickly sat with a few collaborators and said, hey guys, this is an opportunity to do a 16 episode series around gender-based violence. And while we do that, we may want to look at what has caused the GBV to happen. And as you go to the big picture of sometimes it's because of lack. So let's discuss those issues where the government has lagged in addressing and ask how far. And we ended up with a 16-day series, which was like a 16-episode series that actually launched at Sekinego with 16 episodes around GBV, by the way, how far questions. So we actually ended up with 16 how far questions that look into why has this young person, why are they suffering this abuse? Maybe they don't have a job, and why do they not have a job? We answer the how far question. Yeah. Why is this guy doing this? How far question. Yes. So sometimes it's important to brandalize your way into the discourse of the day.